Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Sarah Warsey, and I am the marketing manager at Sentia. Cybersecurity remains top of mind across industries and businesses of all sizes. As the number of threats rise in quantity and sophistication, so too does the degree of complexity involved in developing and managing a robust and proactive cybersecurity strategy. Today, we are here with Cynet, an international cybersecurity firm, to share best practices on eliminating the stress and complexity of managing cybersecurity with a simplified, automated, all-in-one solution. Speaking today, we have Jacob Dacey, a senior account executive with Sentia, who will give us a quick overview of Sentia and discuss some of the cybersecurity trends we are currently seeing. Then we'll hear from Greg Bennett, Senior Security Solutions Engineer at Cynet, who will give us a brief overview of Cynet and then walk us through a live demonstration of the security platform itself. After that, we will have a quick call to action. We will open up the floor for some Q&A, and then we will conclude the session. In order to keep the session interactive, questions are most welcome throughout the session via the chat window on your GoToWebinar dashboard, and we'll address them at the end. With that said, I'd like to pass it over to Jacob. Jacob, over to you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for attending today. As you know, my name is Jacob Dacey, and I'm your Senior Account Executive here at Sentia. I just wanted to provide you with a little refresher on who we are and what we do. We are located here in Richmond Hill, Ontario. We've been in operation for over 15 plus years. We're a global provider of high value infrastructure solutions with a key focus on virtualization, business continuity, cybersecurity, networking, and hybrid IT. Feel free to visit us at sentia.ca to learn more or follow us on social media for regular updates. Next slide.
Thank you, Jacob.
As everyone knows, cybersecurity is becoming more challenging. This year, we saw a reduced budget for the Ontario public sector, and we heard many stories of organizations having a hard time finding new hires for their IT team. So on top of that, cyber attacks are also becoming more effective. So as everyone's been know, I've been working on this webinar for a while for the Ontario public sector and Children's Aid Society and Children Family Services specifically, because when I first heard about Cynet and got an overview of their product, I was really impressed and really impressed at a couple things. Number one, the capabilities of the security product, and number two, the ease of management for an organization's IT team. So when I was kind of hearing about all the struggles in the Ontario public sector about reduced budget and hiring new members for the IT team, I thought Cynet would be a really good fit, because when you're looking to have a 24/7 managed security without the large corporate price point. So I hope you guys enjoyed today in the Cynet overview. For everyone attending, there will be an opportunity to get free trial licenses and also a group discount for purchasing. So thanks again. Now over to Greg Bennett, Senior Security Solutions Engineer with Cynet, for the Cynet 360 live presentation.
Thank you, Jacob. I appreciate that. And I appreciate everyone letting me come and spend a couple of minutes with you. I wanted to start off by just kind of discussing who we are and where we come from. First and foremost is the vision. What is it that we hope to accomplish and do as an organization? And really it comes down to this simple focus, which is enabling lean security teams to put cybersecurity on autopilot and focus on the limited resources of managing security. That way we can allow you to free up your resources and your internal manpower to operate and wear the other hats that are so prevalent in our industry. On the right-hand side, we kind of see an encapsulation of what we do and how we do things. So it can really be boiled down to three separate functions or viewpoints. You've got the protector, the correlator, and the responder. The protector, the ability to protect devices in an automated fashion and an agent-based on the host solution. Correlation, being able to provide full context and rich context around events and the visibility around things as they happen. And of course, the responder is the ability to provide the tools so that things can be responded to, so that they can be addressed, so that they can be triaged or cleaned up. Now, the way that we do that and the way that we have a full scope, over on the far right-hand side, we do things by monitoring user behavior, interacting and identifying anomalous behavior within the user, the network, watching the interface card, and really making the host the sensor on the wire so that we can identify and have visibility into events as they happen in real time. And of course, the endpoint itself, the host, monitoring the host interactions as well as the memory stack and the file drops and things of that nature. So with that, I'd like to kind of jump over and let's get, oh, I do want to ask this question. Thank you. So one of the things that we want to bring and ask you in response is, what is it that what are the cybersecurity concerns at the top of your mind? Basically, what's driving you here today? What is it that has brought you here, that has you concerned, staying up at night, things of that nature? Now, what we're going to ask you to do is to put those responses into the chat of questions. That way we can collect those over the course as we continue to drive through this. But at the end, hopefully we'll have some good, hopefully multiple of the same requests, you know, a consensus, if you will, or a quorum, where we can address the majority of them. So as I take over control here, and if you don't mind, Sarah, allowing me to take control here.
Absolutely. Just give me one moment here and I will give you presenter rights. Thank you very much, Greg. Okay, there you go.
There we go.
And we can see your screen. Excellent.
Excellent. So what I'd like to do, and one of the things that I'd really like to hopefully highlight and articulate here, is the sense of security and the tools and the operations that are working behind the scenes on your behalf, allowing you to focus on your industry, your job, getting things done the way that you need to address your users and your concerns. Sentia is going to work in the back end with these tools that we see here. And I'm going to walk through a couple of them and sort of show a day in the life, or a Monday morning experience, if you will, of an admin as they protect your environments. And really, we're going to highlight on the visibility. So a couple of things that we're going to see here is going to be the dashboard providing visibility into the events in the network, as well as that Monday morning experience as an admin comes in, addresses some of the alerts, is able to glean the context of the event, as well as triage and any support that they might have from Cynet. So with that, what we're looking at here is the dashboard that's providing visibility into the events as they happen. So there's a couple of different things that I want to highlight, and that's the visibility into, over here in the top right-hand corner, the alerts that are happening on the network. Now we're going to see those by files, users, hosts, and network. That's going to be a theme that we're going to see. But we're providing the admin visibility into the sectors of the events, and that's going to be represented in the radar screen as well, as we can see the different quadrants: files, users, hosts, network. As the blips and the bleeps happen in real time, they're going to start showing up here, providing visibility into specific sectors. If someone is trying to jump into your network and drop a bunch of dirty files, or access the network by doing ping requests or scanning and things of that nature, port scans, we're going to be able to see that and provide immediate response to that. The other things that we're able to do is show the admin a little bit more of the context around these particular bleeps that are showing up. Now, these are going to reference the alerts that we see, again, that are enumerated over here in the top right-hand corner. But we can jump in here and we can see, you know, a little bit more here. This one's a ransomware event. We introduced dark side ransomware into this environment, and I can jump immediately into this for immediate response. Now, We're going to walk through a little bit more about how we protect and how it's done automatically and working in the background so there's zero downtime and things of that nature. But the point is, I, as the admin, again on that Monday morning experience, can grab my cup of coffee and start addressing or triaging any of these alerts. Now, another way to view the alert in a holistic fashion is by navigating through the system, and I can get to my alerts console. Now, this is going to list out all of the alerts that I have in my network, and I can start reading these and seeing what is it that I need to address. So on the left-hand side, we're going to provide context around the flavor. So the admin can come in and say, this is a file alert, a host alert, ransomware, DNS tunneling. I'm going to already see and understand a little bit about what I'm dealing with and what I'm seeing. In the middle, we're going to give the what, where, and who. So what was it that we flagged? What was it that we saw or convicted as malfeasance or maliciousness? Where was it? What machine was running? Did this try to run on? And who was logged in at that time? So already I've got an idea of the who, what, when, where. Timestamp, I have the information that I need in order to start wrapping my head around the context of what's going on. Now over here on the right-hand side, this is what the agent that's installed on the host has already done. In this particular case, the auto remediation action has kicked off. We were able to terminate the process that was offensive, and we did that in a successful manner, hence the green check mark. So going back to that Monday morning experience for the admin, I can come in here and rest assured, I've got this. This is already taken care of. Now it's just a matter of understanding where did it come from, how did it happen, and things of that nature. And to that, I can look into the incident view, and this screen is really going to give me context around a couple of different things. Now, first thing we're going to do is the agent itself is going to investigate. It's going to start asking the system certain questions. From that, we're going to boil it down to the findings. And of course, then we're going to discuss the auto remediation that happened as a result of the query. Now, the investigation side, very first thing we're going to do is we're going to ask, did malware run? Was a malicious file executed on this particular device? Now, in this particular case, that answer is no. Great. The next question we want to know is, was a malicious network connection attempted as a result of whatever this event is? In this particular case, yes, a malicious connection was attempted. All right, does that connection exist anywhere else in my world? Yes, 5 other hosts have the same connection attempted. Excuse me. And as an analyst, I can come in here, I can dig into this a little bit deeper, I can pivot into those specific machines, and I can really go a lot deeper, but that's outside the scope of this call. However, I do want to know, where did it come from? If this thing started to establish connections, what started that particular process? Now, a scheduled task was installed or set up in the system, and it was run that made that initial call out. So does that scheduled task live anywhere else in my world? Yes, I've actually seen that on 14 other machines in this network. 5 of those actually made the attempt. So the findings can be boiled down to the root cause as a scheduled task on a system. That scheduled task exists on 14 other hosts, and of those 14 hosts, 5 others tried to make that same outbound connection. Now the question is, even with all of that context, what did we do about it? And the answer is, we were able to block that malicious call out and delete the scheduled task from the host, and we were able to do that for the 14 and 5 hosts respectively. All of that process, from the time we asked the first question to the time that we finalized remediation, was able to be done in 1 minute. So in 60 seconds, the agents that are within the system were able to identify a threat, correlate the event across the network, and provide context to the remediation phase. The other things that the admin can do, if they want to come in and dig a little deeper, we can perform functions on your behalf. Your Sentia analyst is going to be able to come in. They can run scripts. They can run commands in the background. They can do everything they need. They have the tools at their fingertips to fully digest the context and the remediation. If they do have questions, if it needs to go a little deeper, or if they need to run this particular file in a sandbox and see what is going to happen, we can actually absolutely provide them with that context. They can integrate with our security analysts so that we, sitting on the back end, will be able to support them in providing them even deeper, richer context into the event. That's pretty much the down and dirty that I wanted to drive through. Being able to provide the context around what your Sentia analysts can see, what the admins are going to do for your behalf on your network, allowing you and freeing you of the burden of keeping an eye on things so that you can do the millions of other things that you're trying to run. And with that, I'm going to pass that back over to Jacob or Sarah.
Yes, that's great. Thank you so much, Greg. That was an excellent demonstration of the platform. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, can everybody see my screen again?
Yes, I can confirm.
Perfect. Okay, so thank you, everybody. So we're now at the call to action. And Jacob, I'd like to pass it over to you just to give a brief explanation of our offer.
Yes, thank you, Sarah. Yes, so as a call to action, we'll be offering everyone a 14-day free trial of the solution, so you can actually get your hands on the keyboard, play around and see if it works in your environment. We'll also be happy to schedule calls to kind of walk through your environment with you and see how Cynet can help. And then if you are interested further, there will be a group discount available for those that wish to procure. And then we're happy to help you out with your procurement policies to make it go through. So yeah, just please reach out to me if you are interested further. We're happy to help out with the next steps.
Thank you very much, Jacob. Much appreciated. And now we're at the end of our session, and we would like to open up the floor for some questions. And I do see a couple of questions coming through our chat, which is great. So, Greg, to go back to your initial question regarding top security concerns, we have a concern around phishing. How can Cynet assist with phishing situations, or can it assist even indirectly? Can you expand on that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. Phishing is a very convenient and incredibly popular point of entry for bad actors. Now, we are not an email filter solution. We are a agent-based solution, so we are concerned about the endpoint. However, when it comes to phishing, it's usually not a case of if, it's a matter of when. Either spear phishing, whale phishing, or just general spray and pray traditional type of phishing, there's a lot of chance for your user to do the bad thing. If a phish gets in, if it gets past, when it gets past the filter, it's going to provide the link, it's going to provide a document. There's going to be some form of trigger that the user is going to have to interact with. When, hopefully they don't, but if the user does do the bad thing, they click on the link, they open the document, they make that thing happen, that's where we come in. If they open up a link and try to establish a connection to a malicious network, we've already seen that we can stop that and provide context so that we can provide that you can provide education to the user. If it's a document, we're going to be monitoring those files. We're going to be able to see those, and we'll be able to stop that as well. And we'll be able to not only protect the network, but also provide all of the information that the analysts or the admins need in order to perhaps hunt down that phish that maybe got through on a couple of different machines. So we're able to provide a holistic context and security around the endpoint solution side itself. Great question.
And that's an excellent answer. Thank you very much, Greg. Much appreciated. And we just have one other concern that was addressed here. It's regarding, bad actors hiding in an uncontrolled part of the network. Are you able to elaborate more on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So in the industry, we call those LOL bins, or living off the land binaries. Basically, it is the bad actor that somehow, in whatever fashion, for whatever way, they get into the network and they're able to find an unsecured portion of the network. Now, this could be a printer, this could be an unsecured server or system, virtual system that does not have an agent on it. And that makes it a convenient hiding place for a bad actor. They can get into the network, stay in the shadows, and now they can start running recognizance on the network. We've seen bad actors living in a network anywhere between 4 to 10 weeks before they start really launching their payloads. And what they're doing in that time is they start poking at machines, they start trying to see if they can escalate their privileges, they start seeing what they can do, where they can go, and ultimately what they can get away with in the cover of the darkness. What we do is, because we are watching not just the files and the hosts, but because we are watching user interactions, if we start seeing logins from people that typically don't access server systems and they're accessing servers, that's going to make us raise our eyebrows. The agent is going to be able to start questioning and start asking questions around that. We're monitoring the network interface. So if they are sitting in a shady or a shadowy place in the network, and they're starting to run recognizance scans on the network to see how big of a network are they dealing with. What is your IP addressing scheme? What is your host naming scheme? So that they can start mimicking and camouflaging their activity. We're going to see that. We're going to be able to alert on that, and we're going to be able to give visibility to the admins and the analysts that way we're able to stop things faster. We can also backtrack that to the source IP. So if they are hiding in an unprotected system or a printer or thermostat or whatever, we're going to be able to give you the IP address of that source. And now we can work with you and start ferreting that out and running them out of town, if you will. Yeah, that's a common concern. Great question.
Excellent. That's wonderful. Thank you very much, Greg. And that concludes the questions that I could see coming through. So thank you very much. And that essentially concludes our session today. I want to thank everybody for joining us. We certainly hope that you found today's session and live demo insightful and informative. A recording of the session will be sent out as soon as it becomes available. And just to reiterate, in order to leverage the free trial or to further the conversation based on the content that was shared today, please reach out to Jacob or myself to have that arranged. Once again, thank you for your time and have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.